So, when you're building any kind of software, one of the biggest choices you have to make is how all the different pieces are going to talk to each other. Today, we're diving into two of the heavyweights in that arena, the web's universal standard, REST, and the high-speed challenger, gRPC. You ever just stop and wonder how your favorite app on your phone gets new info like instantly from a server that could be thousands of miles away? How does it all work so seamlessly? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a very carefully designed conversation. And the secret behind that conversation is something called an API. It's basically the key that unlocks communication between all the different services that make our digital lives tick. Think of an API like a waiter at a restaurant. You, the customer, you don't just waltz into the kitchen and start grabbing ingredients, right? No way. You give your order to the waiter. That's the API. The waiter then takes your order to the kitchen, the server, and brings back exactly what you asked for. It's that essential middleman, making everything happen smoothly. All right, so let's start with the most common type of API out there, REST. This is the reigning champion, the one almost every developer knows and uses, mostly because it's built on the very foundation of the web itself. REST, which is short for representational state transfer, isn't some strict protocol with a bunch of rigid rules. It's more of a design philosophy. It uses the same simple commands that your web browser uses every single day, like get to ask for data or post to send new data. It's familiar, it's flexible, and it is everywhere. The real power of REST comes from a few core ideas. A huge one is being stateless. This just means that every single request from a client to the server is a completely fresh start. It has to contain all the information the server needs to do its job. The server doesn't remember past requests, which, believe it or not, makes it so much easier to scale systems to a massive size. It also means you can cache responses to speed things up, and it relies on a predictable structure that developers can just pick up and understand. But what if you don't just need something that works? What if you need something that is ridiculously, mind-bendingly fast? Well, that's where our challenger comes in. Say hello to gRPC, a super high-performance framework that was built by Google for one main reason: speed. So gRPC is a little different. It's all about something called a remote procedure call. Now that sounds complicated, but all it really means is that a client application can directly run a function on a server as if that function was right there on the same machine. It gets its amazing speed by using modern tech like HTTP2 and this super compact data format called protocol buffers. Okay, so how exactly does gRPC achieve this speed? A huge piece of the puzzle is protocol buffers. See, instead of sending human-readable text like REST often does, gRPC sends tiny, compact binary data. It's way smaller and way faster for computers to process. It also forces you to use these strict contracts, so there are no miscommunications. And it supports really cool advanced features like bidirectional streaming. That's where the client and server can have a continuous two-way conversation over a single connection. So we've got the universal standard and the high-speed specialist. You might think they're total opposites, but they actually do share some common ground. Let's break down how they really stack up. When you get right down to it, both REST and gRPC are designed to do the exact same thing: let a client and a server trade information. They both work over HTTP, and they're both great for building big, scalable systems. The real difference isn't in the what, but in the how. This all comes down to a classic trade-off. It's like a seesaw, right? On one side, you've got REST. It's super web-friendly, easy for humans to read, and pretty much universally supported. It's the comfortable, go-to choice for most public APIs. Then, on the other side, you've got gRPC, which is all about pure, raw performance and efficiency. So you're constantly balancing that broad compatibility and ease of use against maximum speed. And that brings us to the million-dollar question. Which one should you actually choose? Well, there's no single right answer. It all depends on the job you need to get done. Let's think about this for a second. Are you building something for the public web where literally anyone might want to connect? Or are you building a high-speed system that only runs behind the scenes? Is making it easy for humans to read more important, or is raw performance the absolute top priority? This slide really lays it all out. You're going to want to choose REST for your public-facing APIs, your standard web apps, and anytime ease of use is a top concern. It's the default for a reason. But
If you're building a network of lightning-fast internal services, or you need real-time streaming for something like a video call or live financial data, gRPC was literally built for that high-performance world.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's not about which one is better in some abstract sense. It's about which one is the better tool for your specific job. REST is like the versatile multi-tool you always keep in your pocket, while gRPC is the high-precision power tool you bring out for the heavy-duty work. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As our demand for speed and real-time data just keeps growing and growing, are we going to see the raw efficiency of gRPC start to take over? Or will the sheer simplicity and universality of REST mean it'll always have a place at the table? The future of how our digital world communicates is still being written.